Hello and welcome to yet another review. Today it's Joe DeFranco's Rebuild 2.0. I've been doing this for a couple of months, 3 months in total. Some of you saw my stuff already on some YouTube shorts or on Instagram, or even my recap videos of the different training weeks. Even if you have asked me to review this, so here I am. And before we get into the full review, I know a couple of you just want to know the bottom line, so I start with that. And if you want to have more details about everything, feel free to stay and get a little bit more nuanced perspective of everything. But can I recommend Jody's Rebuild 2.0? Yes, absolutely. Can I gain muscle mass, fat-free mass on Jody's Rebuild 2.0? Absolutely too. No questions asked. You get out what you put in, but absolutely great hypertrophy program. So is it worth the money? I think I bought it for $70 or something like this, and in my opinion, it was. So if you are looking for some hypertrophy work that's a bit different, feel free to give Jody's Rebuild 2.0 a try. So now that's that, let's start with the actual review. So I made this presentation and hope this helps. So here is the review. So let's talk a bit about the program in general. It's a 4-day split, meaning it's a push, lower, pull, full body split, which sounds a bit weird, but actually worked quite well. It's bodybuilding style of training, so it's really meant for hypertrophy work. You have a couple of heavy-ish sets where you are supposed to do sets of 5 or 6 reps. So you have this too. In overall, it's really not really a barbell training program. You need different implements, mainly the dumbbell, a little bit of body weight, pull-up bar, stuff like this. Get more into this later on. So in total it's 12 weeks and has 3 different blocks, and while the general idea of what you do remains kind of the same, Joe really switches exercises every couple of weeks, which makes this quite fun, and you really will probably do a couple of exercises that you have never done before. Even already for this is good fun. You get an ebook with the templates and all the explanations. You see here the cover of the ebook. There's plenty written there, so that's cool. You have a member area too. You get visual explanation of how the exercise is supposed to look like. If it's something common, easy, then it's basically just Joe doing the exercise. If there is a little bit more behind, Joe goes and explains in a bit more detail what is important about the movement. The overview, as I said, push legs, pull full body. You have always a dedicated warm-up for each of the 4 training phases, which is really cool. And it's not just do jumping jacks. No, it's actually something that is supposed to warm you up for a push day, for a leg day, a pull day, a full body day. So that's really, really cool. It's a mixture of warm-up, prehab, I would say. So you're doing stuff that probably will help you increase your range of motion, increase your mobility, which of course later on in the actual training day will help you to perform better during the different exercises. That's something that's really cool. Then the actual training starts, and with the exception of the full body day, it always starts with the pump and prime. It's a small exercise circuit, 2-3 different exercises, which you just go through them, and it's really, as it says, it's to pump and prime. So it's getting your blood flowing and making sure that you are ready for what's coming. Then you have a supplemental superset. Again, Joe often works with this pre-exhaustion idea, so that's why you have the main lift quite far behind. So here, whatever is supposed to happen on this day, so let's say it's a push day, so you might have some push-ups with some rear delt work or something like this. Then you have the main lift, which is usually in 2 parts. We have usually it's, I think, 3-4 sets of the main lift, and then next thing is a drop set. So you can also see here a bit the bodybuilding aspects, and then you have some accessory superset So it would be, if it's push, it would be more something like triceps to get a little bit more out of this. And a finisher could be plenty of things, could be shoulders, which is not a surprise, as this is Jody's Rebuild 2.0 and was designed, to help him, get back in shape after shoulder surgery. And you have also a finisher. This could be, farmer's walks, depending also on which training day it is. Weekly schedule. The first one is basically what Joe suggests. So it's push legs, then off day, then pull, then off, and then full body, and then off. So saying whatever how you want to do it. But you can also do push. So I often did push legs, pull, then an off day and a full body day and 2 days off, or push legs, off day, pull day, full body day, 2 days off. Simply because this worked a lot better with my weekly schedule. But I think even though it sounds quite rough, 3 days in a row, that works quite well. If you can, I think, in my opinion, when you find a way, if it's possible at all, to get an off day between the pull day and the full body day, just be a bit more recovered and get more out of the full body day, because those can be quite intense. So the equipment essentials: you need your body, you need a couple of dumbbells, bands, a pull-up bar, ideally a bench, a power rack would help, and you need a straight bar. I think for one movement you actually could barbell bench press as a substitute, but you mainly need the straight bar to grab it and do inverted row stuff. So that's fine. Otherwise you pick something else where you can do some. You could do this on the table too if you don't have a straight bar. My experience, so training duration, it took me an hour to 75 minutes. The first week of the very first block took me probably 90 minutes, just getting to know exercises, getting an idea of how everything is supposed to work. But then the other weeks a bit more than an hour, which is not unusual for bodybuilding training day. It definitely was a lot of fun. I saw plenty of different things that I haven't done before, or I haven't done in quite a long time. So that made it very enjoyable. I definitely saw constant progress all the time, as I thought me doing more reps or doing the same amount of work in less time, more weight, many different ways where Joe managed to add ways to let you progress, basically. A few of the supersets to me personally were a little bit difficult to set up and perform, simply because I was limited in my space. In a gym that would be easier, or in a real garage gym that would be no problem, but I'm doing this mainly in my living room, so that was a bit challenging. Also my personal experience, so in terms of can you make gains, I got plenty of positive feedback towards my physique. People that saw me in a gym when I was helping out with powerlifting seminars and stuff like this really commented on this, saying, hey, you really look different, you look bigger, your shoulders look bigger, armor, you look wider. And even on the internet, on Instagram, YouTube, I got positive feedback, which is quite astonishing, because that's usually the place where people bash on you. So really that worked quite well. Also, one of the cool things, I really felt like I was recovering from all the months of heavy lifting and the heavy weights of my powerlifting training, so the Wendler's 531 and also my competition prep and the actual powerlifting meet. So that was really, really good to feel. Especially my knees felt a lot better 7 weeks in. My tendons just felt a lot more snappier, fresher. So that's cool. And now I'm back at lifting heavier, so I definitely can feel the difference. So that's cool. I mean, I wasn't in pain, just was really, really tired. That's why I took this break, and it really helped me out a lot. What are the best things about Rebuild 2.0, at least for me? I really like the dedicated warm-up for each training day. That's something that I'm stealing and using now bits and pieces of it for my actual training. Now, even when I'm doing powerlifting, just because it really made a big difference, and it's not a lot of work. I mean, it took 3, 4, 5 minutes. I don't need to do everything that Joe has written down, simply because I have a morning routine where I do my form of yoga, basically, where I go through plenty of things that Joe makes you do too. And as I'm already doing them on a regular basis, I don't need this much anymore. So that's cool, and I'm doing it anyhow. The exercise selection was fun, and sometimes also the pairing that was really, really enjoyable and challenging in a positive way. So going through 20-minute M rep rounds with in the summer heat was something that was, to me at least, a lot of fun, and trying to beat my previous week PRs in terms of how many rounds I managed to do while maintaining good form was really cool. I like that. Also, many ways to make progress and track it. More reps, more weights, doing more in less time, and that's really something that often gets a bit overlooked, especially that doing more in less time is really something that makes you push a little harder, makes you sometimes question how cardiovascular fit you are, and I could have been fitter at times. I'm working on that now, so that's a good takeaway for me. So that was pretty much my highlight of everything. What are the worst things or stuff that I didn't like so much? Yeah, as I said, in a small home gym, a few of the things were quite hard to set up, or not really possible to set up at all. But Joe is cool. I DM'd him and told him what I can and can't do, and gave him a few suggestions of what I might be able to do with it, and he helped me out and told me, do it like this or this. So that's what I did. So that was also an upside there. Joe is very kind and helpful there. And for my personal taste, but maybe that's the powerlifter in me, there was a little too little work for lower body. I felt like the leg day and the full body day really didn't hit me hard enough in terms of frequency. I mean, I'm used to basically squat twice a week and deadlift twice a week in whatever variations. So that's basically 4 lower days, and I made a lot of progress there. So that was really something that I was kind of missing, but it doesn't mean that you cannot make progress there. I think I still made progress. Just, I like to train my legs, so maybe that's also just my head and that I was missing this. But just so how how it felt for me. My verdict, so it is, as I said in the beginning, absolutely worth it. It's a challenging program in a good way. Would I run it again? No, but not really because it was bad, simply because they're coming back to what I said with, sometimes it's hard to, set things up. It just wasn't my thing. But I will definitely, as I said, the warm-ups stay with me. Plenty of exercise selection pairing are things that I will put in my actual program now. So I will make sure over the next few weeks I will do a little bit more still hypertrophy work, but including the power lifts and the barbell. But I will use what I learned in Rebuild 2.0 and kind of incorporate in my actual self-made program. So that's cool, which is the important part. So, and as I said already, when in doubt, DM Joe. That was really a positive experience. I've been in touch with him for a few years now, but that definitely helped. So even though while I wouldn't do the run the program as is again, maybe in a different circumstance, my life, maybe if I had a bigger home gym or would completely train in a gym, then I certainly would do it again if I need a break from the barbell. So it definitely has some value there, just not for me probably personally as it is now. So that's it. I tried to give you everything that happened in my mind during the last 3 months of training. I hope this helps you guys out a lot. Feel free to like the video, subscribe to my channel, share the video if someone thinks about doing Rebuild 2.0. Leave me a comment about what, if in case you did the program, what you liked about it the most. And that's that. See you next time. Bye.